Have you ever felt like your life is stuck in an endless loop? Believe it or not, your brain has everything to do with that. It works like a computer, and if you want different results in 2025, you need to reprogram it. The good news? Small adjustments can transform your productivity, creativity, and even happiness. How have you been feeling lately? Let me know in the comments so we can talk about it. Modern society is like an infinite amusement park, full of flashing lights, constant noise, and distractions at every corner. From the moment we wake up, notifications from TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms compete for our attention. Here's the curious part. Our brains, designed to hunt food and avoid predators, now have to deal with an endless stream of information. No wonder it feels almost impossible to focus on what truly matters. So, how do we navigate this sea of stimuli? First, recognize that every notification is like a silent thief stealing precious minutes of your life. Picture this. You start working on something important, and your phone vibrates. Just a quick glance, you think. 15 minutes later, you're watching a cat play the piano. How do you fix this? Turn on Do Not Disturb mode and block distractions. Yes, it seems simple, but this small action can transform your day. Or, if you want to go further, try leaving your phone in another room while you work. The physical absence of the device reduces temptation. Extreme. Maybe. But the productivity you'll gain makes it worth it. Now think about those times you felt super focused and productive. This usually happens when your goals are clear. The tip here is simple. Set daily goals and break tasks into smaller chunks. Use the 25-minute focus rule followed by a 5-minute break, the famous Pomodoro technique. It might seem like a silly trick, but it helps fool your brain and maintain focus. Another key point is your environment. Have you noticed how working in chaotic spaces drains your energy? Adjust your surroundings, keep your desk organized, and eliminate distracting items. For some, listening to instrumental music helps block out external noise and create a bubble of concentration. Try this the next time you need absolute focus. Speaking of focus, have you ever tried practicing mindfulness? It's not just about meditating and breathing deeply, it's about being present in the moment. For example, as you're reading this, are you really here, or are you thinking about the next video you'll watch? Mindfulness helps train your mind to return to the present, even when it insists on wandering. Another powerful tool is keeping a distraction journal. Yes, write down every time your mind wanders and what caused it. Within a few days, you'll notice patterns. Perhaps it's the habit of checking your phone every 10 minutes or procrastinating difficult tasks. Identifying these triggers is the first step toward controlling them. During today's video, besides the main topics, I'd like to share something that has made a difference for me. Recently, I started using CineBoost, which has been helping me improve focus, energy, and even reduce anxiety in my daily life. If you're interested in learning more, check out the pinned comment. The best part? You only pay for shipping. Behind the scenes of your brain, 3 neural networks work as fundamental gears for everything you do. The executive control network, the default mode, and the salience network. Think of these networks as a dynamic trio that, when in harmony, helps you focus, solve problems, and even unlock your creativity. But modern society, with its many distractions and stimuli, can throw this trio out of balance, making everything more chaotic. The good news is that understanding how these networks work is already halfway to leveraging them in your favor. The executive control network is responsible for decision-making and maintaining focus. Think of it as a film director deciding what deserves attention in your life. For example, when you choose to ignore Instagram to finish an important project, this network is at work. To strengthen it, focus exercises like puzzles or even strategic games can be great allies. The default mode, on the other hand, is like a playground for your mind. It takes over when you're distracted or daydreaming, allowing deep reflections and innovative ideas. Curiously, when we're resting or even bored, this network kicks in. So that moment when you're washing dishes and a brilliant idea pops up, you can thank the default mode for that. Finally, we have the salience network, which acts like a radar, helping you prioritize important information. When something grabs your attention immediately, like the sound of a phone notification, that's the salience network. But for it to work well, it's essential to balance stimuli. Activities that demand focus and presence, such as yoga or gardening, can help calibrate this radar. Interestingly, these networks don't work in isolation, they collaborate. When you're focused on a creative task, for example, the executive control network and the default mode alternate, enabling insights while maintaining concentration. This explains why it's so important to intersperse moments of focus with strategic breaks. Want a practical example? Dedicate 20 minutes to a challenging task, then take a 10-minute break to simply relax or do something light. This alternation helps neural networks communicate better, boosting both productivity and creativity. It's like recharging your mental batteries. If you want to take this to another level, practices like meditation or daily journaling can help align these networks. Meditation reduces mental noise, strengthening executive control, while journaling stimulates the default mode, allowing unexpected connections between ideas. Try these strategies and see how they can transform your thinking and actions. Speaking of transformation, subscribe to our channel to keep learning about strategies that enhance your mind. Here, you'll always find content that can change how you face everyday challenges. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel bored? In today's world, boredom has almost become taboo. Just a few seconds without something interesting to look at, and we're already grabbing our phones, scrolling through endless feeds, or watching short videos. But what few people realize is that boredom is a disguised gift. It creates space for the brain to breathe and connect dots that otherwise would never align. That moment when you're waiting in line and a brilliant idea pops into your head. That's the power of boredom at work. Research shows that when you're not overwhelmed by stimuli, your mind enters a state called mind wandering. It sounds lazy, but it's actually a springboard for creativity. During these moments, the neural networks related to creativity begin to work, bringing solutions to problems that previously seemed unsolvable. So, the next time you're bored, instead of fighting it, let your mind wander. Great ideas might be waiting. To make the most of boredom, disconnect intentionally. A simple example: leave your phone at home during a walk. Without constant distractions, you may notice things you previously overlooked. The sound of birds, the feeling of the wind, or even ideas that were hidden. It seems small, but these intentional pauses can shift your way of thinking. Another powerful trick is to schedule moments to do absolutely nothing. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But imagine yourself sitting in a park with no goal other than observing the movement around you. Without realizing it, you're allowing your mind to process accumulated information and create new connections. It's like rebooting your brain. A practical example of this can be found in the habits of great creative minds throughout history. Steve Jobs, for instance, was known for taking long walks when he needed to think. Walking without distractions helped him organize his thoughts. Similarly, Einstein played the violin to relax his mind and let his thoughts flow. Why not take inspiration from these habits and try something similar? If you find it difficult to deal with boredom, start slow. Set aside just 10 minutes a day to stay away from screens or external stimuli. During this time, observe your surroundings, take deep breaths, and let your mind wander. Gradually, you'll notice how these moments are not only relaxing, but incredibly productive for your creative thinking. And the best part? This simple act of embracing boredom might be the key to unlocking the creative potential you feel is stuck. Speaking of which, how would you use that time to create something new or solve that problem that seems so complicated? The answer might be closer than you think. In the next topic, we'll explore how reducing stimuli can elevate your focus to a whole new level. In today's world, we're surrounded by stimuli every second. Notifications, ads, and even side conversations compete for your focus like children demanding attention. The result? A tired brain unable to concentrate deeply. Reducing stimuli isn't just a smart choice, it's a necessity. It's like tuning an instrument. The less noise around, the clearer the melody. Want to master this melody? Let's dive in. The first tip is to simplify your environment. Imagine your mind as a room. If it's filled with useless clutter, it's impossible to move around without tripping. Start by eliminating excess, whether it's on your work desk, computer desktop, or even your schedule. Less is more. For those who love practical actions, try using apps like Notion to organize tasks and avoid digital chaos. Another powerful strategy is digital detoxing. Spend a day without social media or turn off notifications for a few hours. It might seem challenging at first, but the impact is transformative. Without constant stimuli, you'll notice that the anxiety of always being connected starts to fade. Plus, you'll rediscover how to focus on one thing at a time, a rare skill these days. Reducing stimuli isn't just about technology. Sometimes the problem lies in the number of commitments or responsibilities we take on. Have you ever heard of toxic productivity syndrome? It's when we feel we must do everything at once. The solution? Choose 3 priorities each day and focus on them. This not only reduces mental overload, but increases the quality of what you deliver. Now, here's a simple and effective trick. Use noise-canceling headphones while working or studying. It might seem like a minor detail, but it eliminates most external distractions. Pair that with a playlist of instrumental music or nature sounds, and you'll have the perfect combination to reach a state of flow. That moment when time seems to fly because you're completely immersed in a task. If it still feels hard to concentrate, it might be time to practice sensory decompression. Set aside 10 minutes to sit in silence, away from bright lights or loud sounds. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and let your mind slow down. These minutes act like a mental reset, preparing your brain to return stronger and more focused. Reducing stimuli doesn't mean complete isolation. It's about prioritizing what truly matters. It's like adjusting a camera's focus to capture the perfect image. And the interesting part? The fewer external stimuli you have, the easier it becomes to find joy in challenging activities that once felt like a burden. In the next topic, we'll explore how this ties directly to creativity and reprogramming your brain. Creativity is not some mysterious gift reserved for artists or geniuses. In fact, it's a skill that anyone can develop, and the key lies in your habits. Creative people aren't born different. They simply train their brains to activate the right neural networks at the right time. The good news, you can do the same. Imagine creativity as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And it all starts with simple changes in your daily routine. One habit that can transform your creativity is task switching. When you alternate between different activities, such as studying something technical and then drawing or writing, Your brain learns to adapt and connect ideas in unusual ways. For instance, if you're a programmer, try learning a musical instrument or cooking a new recipe. These creative breaks help your mind combine skills from seemingly unrelated areas. Another crucial point is eliminating the fear of failure. Creativity flourishes in environments where perfectionism doesn't rule. If you're trying to create something new, allow yourself to fail. A practical example: write one absurd idea a day without worrying if it makes sense. Many groundbreaking innovations began as strange ideas. What matters is giving space to your imagination. Additionally, rethink your consumption habits. Everything you read, listen to, or watch feeds your creativity, like fuel for an engine. So instead of scrolling endlessly through social media, choose content that inspires you. Read books outside your comfort zone, such as biographies of inventors or science fiction that expands your imagination. Some recommendations: The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen, or Creativity by Ed Catmull. We also can't talk about creativity without mentioning the role of environments. Repetitive settings suffocate inspiration, while new surroundings stimulate the brain. How about working from a coffee shop, walking in a park, or reorganizing your workspace? Changing your environment activates dormant parts of your brain, opening doors to new ideas. To maximize your creativity, practice brain reprogramming through visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself successfully completing creative projects. Close your eyes and visualize every detail: the environment, the colors, even the feeling of accomplishment. This exercise activates neural networks associated with pleasure, boosting your motivation to create. Finally, combine these habits with consistency. Creativity isn't about waiting for the right moment or divine inspiration. It's about creating small daily rituals that put you in constant contact with ideas and possibilities. Start small. Dedicate 15 minutes a day to exploring something new or practicing a creative hobby. Before you know it, you'll have reprogrammed your brain to find joy in the creative process. And here's the most interesting part. When you change these habits, something magical happens. Productive tasks that once seemed tedious begin to bring satisfaction. In the next topic, we'll explore how to integrate boredom, stimuli, and habits into a routine that's both creative and productive. Transforming your mind and routine isn't something that happens overnight. It's like cultivating a garden. Every small habit, every distraction eliminated, and every moment of boredom embraced is a seed planted. When these elements come together, something bigger begins to emerge. Creativity, focus, and joy in productive tasks become a natural part of your day. But how do you turn these changes into something lasting? The secret lies in creating a system that works for you. First, recognize the importance of reviewing your habits regularly. It's no use changing for a day or two and then reverting to old patterns. Use tools like a journal or a productivity app to track your actions and thoughts. For instance, every night write down 3 things you did well during the day and 1 thing you'd like to improve. This simple exercise keeps you aware of your progress and helps you adjust your course if needed. Another important point is creating rituals that integrate focus and creativity into your day. Something as simple as starting the morning with 10 minutes of meditation and ending the day with 10 minutes of reflective reading can make a huge difference. Repeating these rituals daily creates a positive cycle where your mind begins to expect these moments of alignment. It's like training an athlete. The body responds to consistent practice, and the brain is no different. For those seeking more inspiration, the idea of combining productive habits with pleasurable activities can be revolutionary. For example, pair challenging tasks with small rewards, like taking a coffee break or going for a walk outdoors. This teaches your brain that effort is worthwhile, transforming even difficult activities into something gratifying. After all, who said work and pleasure have to be separate? Additionally, surround yourself with communities or circles that share similar goals. When you're surrounded by people who value personal growth, it's easier to stay committed to your own changes. Book clubs, creative workshops, or even online forums can be endless sources of inspiration and idea exchange. Another practice worth adopting is the concept of weekly reflection. Spend 30 minutes at the end of each week reviewing what worked and what could be improved. Think of it as a meeting with yourself. What did you learn? What small changes made a difference? What distractions still need to be eliminated? This practice creates a loop of continuous improvement, ensuring that your progress remains consistent. Finally, remember that transforming habits and integrating creativity and focus doesn't mean achieving perfection. On the contrary, it's about embracing the journey. Every small step matters. Allow yourself to celebrate even the smallest victories, a productive day, a new idea, or simply the feeling of being in control of your own life. It's this recognition that keeps the flame alive. You've made it this far. Now the question is, what will you do with all this? The truth is, knowledge without action is like a map left in a drawer. You know where the treasure is, but you'll never find it unless you take the first step. And let's be honest, what's at stake is more than just improving productivity or creativity. It's about transforming the way you live, creating a routine that takes you where you've always wanted to be. Imagine starting tomorrow by applying just one of the strategies we discussed. How much of a difference would it make in your focus, ideas, and even well-being? At first, it might be challenging. But so what? Real change always requires stepping out of your comfort zone. The question you need to ask yourself is, how much is achieving the life you want worth? So here's the challenge. Choose one of these practices to start right now. Whether it's reducing stimuli, embracing boredom, or reshaping your habits. Just don't stay still. Take the first step today, and a week from now, come back to review what's changed. Trust me, you'll be surprised by the impact. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every video here is a new opportunity to keep learning and evolving. And before you go, I recommend watching the video appearing on the screen now. It's the perfect complement to everything we've discussed today and will help you continue on this journey of transformation.